This week, I'll lead you through a strengthening yoga flow. We're going to focus on creating stability, strength, and stamina throughout the whole body. Let's get started. Throughout this practice, I will use a couple of blocks as props as we go through the poses and movements, but these are optional, so you can go through the whole practice without any props. But if you want to play with blocks, then have them somewhere nearby. And we're going to start from lying down on the belly. So once you have your practice space, your props ready, we're going to come lie down on the belly. But now, if you have blocks, I would invite you to bring those blocks under your shoulders. So lying down on the front and just having those blocks supporting the front of the shoulders. And you could keep arms higher up or you could bring them lower down. But this might give a bit more space for your head, for your neck. If using the blocks doesn't feel good, you can always move them aside. But we'll just take a moment here, checking in, finding our breath. So you could take a few slightly deeper, slightly slower breaths in and out, and just noticing where in your body you can feel those breaths. And then just gently allowing the pace of your breath slow down. So taking control of your breath and starting to consciously slow down, especially your exhalations. Throughout the practice today, we're going to use, in many cases, the exhalation as the kind of active, engaging part of our movements. So we're looking for that gentle, subtle drawing in through the pelvic floor, through the lower belly, through the whole core with those exhalations. And if Ujjayi breath is a part of your practice, you could use that Ujjayi breath to help with that deeper engagement. Or another way to find similar engagement would be to use a hissing out breath. So you would go like this, you would breathe in through the nose and then breathe out. And with that hissing out breath, create that subtle drawing in through the deep core. So find your breath, and you can play with that breath. We'll start to slowly bring some movement to the body. So first, just reach your feet away from the head. We'll still stay here, lying down on the belly. You can bring arms either closer to the shoulders. So if you want, you can engage those cobra arms, kind of gently squeezing the elbows towards the sides, drawing shoulders away from the ears. Or you might bring arms next to your sides. And then first breathe in. As you exhale, reach your left foot away from the head and lift your left leg just slightly off the mat, trying to keep the leg straight. Inhale, lower the left leg back down. Exhale, reach the right foot away from the head and lift the right leg just slightly off the mat. And inhale, lower down. If you have cobra arms, keep drawing the elbows in. Same again with the left leg. As you exhale,
press down through the front of the pelvis, lifting the left leg slightly up. And inhaling down. Again, exhale, press down through the front of the right side of the pelvis. Lift the right leg slightly off the mat. And inhaling down. A few more rounds. Exhale, reaching the left leg up. Inhaling down. Exhale the right leg, and you can use a hissing breath. Inhaling back down. 2 more times, both sides. Exhale, left leg. Inhaling down. Exhaling, reaching the right leg away from the head and up slightly into the air. And inhaling down 1 more time, both sides. Follow your own breath, using that exhalation to also draw in through the core, so we have that support for the spine. Inhaling down, and 1 more time the right leg. Exhaling, reaching the right leg up. And inhaling down. And then step hands under the shoulders. Lift yourself onto hands and knees, onto all fours. And we go into cat pose. So now round the spine, actively tucking the tail under. You can bring your chin towards the chest. So active rounding through the whole spine, like you're trying to lift your navel towards the back and then through the back up towards the ceiling. Arms pressing the floor away. We are breathing, so here we're constantly breathing in and out, but trying to keep that engagement going on. Pressing down through the knees as well onto the mat. Take 1 more breath in and out. And then slowly release. Find neutral spine. Keep your hips roughly on top of the knees. And now if you have blocks there, you could use blocks under hands as we move into melting heart and out of the melting heart. So either hands on the blocks or hands on the mat, but we're kind of sliding the hands further forward away from the hips. Inhale. And as you exhale, start to lower your chest down towards the mat. We don't need to touch the mat, but just into a place where there's a bit of an opening across the shoulders. Then as you inhale, come back up and now shift the weight forward towards the hands, a bit like a plank, kneeling plank. Same again. Exhale, opening the chest down. Again, trying to hover off the mat. So we need to keep that engagement through the shoulders, through the arms. And inhale, lifting up and shifting the pelvis slightly forward into a kneeling plank. Few more rounds. Exhaling down, opening from the arms, through the shoulders, into the chest. Head might come down. Inhaling up and leaning forward, strong engagement through the core. 2 more times. Exhaling into that melting heart, leaving the pelvis up, not collapsing down, so rather hover slightly off the mat. And inhaling up and leaning forward, keeping shoulders drawn away from the ears. 1 more time. Exhaling into that melting heart. Reach pelvis away from the hands. And 1 more time. Shifting forward into that kneeling plank. And then bring yourself to center. Bring hands onto the mat if you had them on the blocks. And then we're going to start moving the legs, the hips. So now hands roughly under the shoulders. And from here, start to circle the left hip. It doesn't matter which way you move first, but trying to create a circle through the left hip without moving too much through the pelvis or the spine. So we're kind of trying to stabilize the rest of the body and just finding movement through that left hip. Keep your neck long. And then from an easy place, change the direction of those circles. So it doesn't have to be a big movement. More trying to feel that stability that we need to create through the core. So we're not rounding and arching the spine. We're not tilting the pelvis too much. Still some breath, moving in and out. Again, you can go back to that hissing breath if it helps. One more circle. And then bring both knees down onto the mat. Lower down onto your elbows. And we're going to go into dolphin. So either interlock your fingers like a triangle through the forearms or turn palms onto the mat. Tuck the toes under and lift the pelvis up, finding a dolphin. This first dolphin, we're just going to hold. We're just going to stay here, pressing down through the forearms, pressing down through the elbows, finding that space between ears and shoulders. And finding that lengthening through the spine, the axial extension, like somebody's pulling your pelvis away from the elbows. So creating length through the spine, active length. Knees could be a bit bent. Sometimes it gives more space, more that axial extension. And still breathing. And use those exhalations to find that engagement through the pelvic floor, through your abs, through the back muscles, all that deep stuff around the spine that supports your spinal movements. One more breath in and out. And then slowly bring yourself back onto your knees, lift up onto your hands. And we go into those hip circles on the right side. So find good support through your arms, grip the mat with your fingertips, and then start to circle the right hip. And again, the challenge is to keep the rest of the body stable. So it could be that the circling movement is small. We're more looking for that control than trying to create as big movement as possible. And this side might be very different. One side might have more range of movement, and other side might feel a bit more stuck. That's very fine. Keep breathing. And then change the direction. An easy place. Change the direction. One more circle. And then bring both knees back onto the mat. We go back into dolphin. This time we're going to move in that dolphin. So you can find your arms that give you support. Lift your pelvis up. And this time walk your feet a bit further back, away from the elbows, so we have more space so we can start to move. Now with your next in-breath, shift the weight forward. So coming down into dolphin plank. Exhale, reach the pelvis back up. Same again. Inhaling forward. You decide how far you want to go. Exhaling, reaching the pelvis up. Keep pressing down through the arms. 3 more times. Inhaling forward. Exhaling, reaching up again, like somebody's pulling the pelvis up and back. Inhaling forward. Keep your legs active. Keep knees lifted. Exhaling, reaching up. 1 more time, maybe extra slow. Inhaling forward. Exhaling, reaching the pelvis up. And then bring your knees down. Come back onto hands and knees. And then we're going to step the left foot forward. And we're going to find a lunge. So lift your right knee off the mat. And as you inhale, start to bring your back up, arms up. At the same time, bend both knees. So bend the right knee as well. So you're really dropping the weight at the center. You can still adjust your feet. Trying to go a bit deeper down than what feels really comfortable. So find a little bit of discomfort, maybe a little bit of shaking in the legs. And then we start to move the arms. As you exhale, bring arms sideways down. Inhale, reaching the arms up, opening the chest. Exhale again, arms come down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. 2 more times. Exhaling down. Inhaling, reaching up, pressing down through the feet. 1 more circle. Exhaling down. And inhaling up. And then as you exhale, bring your hands onto the mat. And we're going to step the right foot forward to left foot. Inhale, halfway up into flat back, reaching head away from the tail. Exhale, bending down, full forward bend. Knees could be bent or you can extend the legs. As you inhale, reach up through the head, reaching up into mountain pose. And you can roll the shoulders. We're going to go into chair pose. Now, if you have a block there, you can bring a block between your inner thighs, so you can squeeze the block between the legs, engaging inner thighs a bit more. Inhale, bring arms in front of you. Exhale, bend your knees. So sit down into your chair pose. If needed, you can adjust the feet. And then you could lift your toes slightly off the mat if that helps you to engage through the front of the legs. If arms and shoulders feel really tense, you could always bring palms together in front of the chest. Take a couple more breaths in and out. See if you can maybe lower a bit further down, sending pelvis back. So we're not leaning or putting too much pressure onto the front of the knee, really leaning the weight back. 1 more breath here. And then as you inhale, lift yourself up. If you have a block there, still keep it between the legs. Bring arms in front of you now, palms facing each other. And then lift yourself onto the balls of the feet, onto your toes, so lifting heels off the mat. And now think about your inner ankles, inner heels, kind of reaching towards each other. Not touching, but they are magnetized towards each other. So keeping that inner line of the legs and feet active. The crown of the head reaching up. Take another breath or two in and out here. And then slowly, slowly lower your heels down. Release the arms. And then if you have a block there, just put the block back down. And we're going to do same on the other side. So now we're going to leave the right leg at the front. Step the left leg, left foot far back. And bend your knees. Reach arms overhead. And just find that place where you can press down through that right foot, especially through the right heel, the outer edge of the foot. And then we start to move the arms. Exhale, open arms sideways down. Inhale, lengthening up. Exhale, arms down. Inhaling up. Remember, you can use a hissing breath. Two more rounds with your breath. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. And one more round. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. And then again, bring your hands down onto the mat. And this time, step into a downward facing dog. So step your both feet back. You can move your feet a bit here. We're going to go into plank and side planks. So with your next couple of breaths, shift the weight forward, finding a long line from your head to your heels. Arms pressing down, keeping neck in a long line with your back. And we're going to breathe here. So if you could do 5 breaths in and out. With each out breath, drawing in through the core and pressing down through the arms. And then we'll go straight into side plank. So step your right hand in the middle and then turn towards the left side of the mat. You can reach the left arm up, or you can bring left hand onto your hips. I have the left foot in front of the right foot, both ankles, both feet actively flexed. And we breathe here. If you start to feel it's too much now, just bring your right knee onto the mat. So that is an option. You can bring your right knee onto the mat. Listen to your body. Shaking is very, very fine. Take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, lower your hands down. And we go straight to the other side. So left hand stays down, turn to the right side of the mat, flexing the ankles, flexing the feet. And you can either reach the right arm up. You can bring right hand onto your hip. You can bring left knee on the mat if that feels better. Wherever you are, just breathe. Breathe through the pose. Breathe through the shaky muscles. Breathe through the discomfort. We're building strength, creating that stability, building stamina. One more breath here, in and out. And then slowly bring your both hands onto the mat, back into that plank, and reach the pelvis up into downward dog. You can shake the head, you can move the feet. And then from this downward dog, we're going to step the right foot forward all the way into a low lunge. So now bring your left knee down. And here you could use a block on your left-hand side as we go into a side bend. As you inhale, lengthen both arms up. As you exhale, bring your left hand, either left hand onto the block or left arm, left hand behind the back. And then exhale, lean into a side bend. Finding stability in that right leg, in the core. Remember, you can always get some support through that left arm. If you have long arms, you might even reach your fingertips or hand onto the mat, onto the floor. I can't do it, but you can try if that feels better. Take one more breath here, in and out. And then inhale, lift yourself back to center. Exhale, reach your hands forward, either blocks under hands or just reaching fingertips onto the mat. We're going to lift the left knee off the mat and then lift the left leg all the way up into the air. So now we're going to do a bit of movement here from kind of standing splits into one-legged squats. Let's call it that. So now, once you have your hands either on the blocks or fingertips on the mat, exhale, bend your left knee, and now twist your left leg so that you bring that left knee behind the right knee and bend the right knee. As you inhale, keeping the left knee bent, lift the left knee up, rotate the hips open, and you might extend the right leg. Same again. Exhale, start to bring the left knee behind the right knee, bend the right knee, keep weight on the heel. Inhale, lifting the left knee up, opening the hips. If you want to add more for your back, lift into flat back, so extending your back. And then exhale again, bend the right knee. Left knee comes down behind that right knee. And inhale, lifting up, extending the right leg, left knee reaching up. 2 more times. Exhale, bend both knees. And inhale, extend the right leg, keeping the left knee bent. 1 more time. Exhale, bend the right knee, bring left knee behind the right knee. See if you can challenge yourself a bit further. And 1 more time. Inhale, lifting the left knee up. And then as you exhale, we're going to step the left foot to right foot. Inhale into flat back if you aren't there already. And exhale, bending down, full forward bend. And then we're going to do the same to the other side, starting from that low lunge. So now we're going to step the right foot far back. Bring right knee down. You could bring a block onto your right hand side in case you want to use it. And once you have your support down through the legs, inhale, reach your arms up. And then exhale, bend over to the right. So again, you can bring right hand onto the block, left arm reaching over, or extra challenge, the right arm behind the back. So having that right arm behind the back is an extra challenge for the core, because we're not leaning arms onto anything. You can focus on your breaths. Take 1 more breath in and out. And then as you inhale, lift back to center. And exhale, bring hands down. Again, you can use blocks if you want, or just hands, fingertips on the mat, but hands reaching further forward. Lift your right knee off the mat. And then as you inhale, lift your right leg up into the air. And you can still adjust your hands, you can adjust your feet. And when you're ready, we start to move that right leg behind the left knee. Exhale, bend both knees and bring your right knee behind the left knee. And then inhale, extend the left leg and lift the right knee up, rotating the hips open. Moving slowly with control. Exhale, bend the knees. Keep weight on the left heel more, the outer edge of the foot. And inhale, lift the right knee up, rotate the hips open. Again, if you want that extra activation through the back, extend your back into flat back. 3 more rounds. Exhaling, bend the knees. And inhale, press down through the left foot, rotating hips open. Right knee lifting up. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhaling, pressing down through the left foot, lifting up, buttocks active. 1 more time. Exhaling, bending the knees. And inhale, lifting up. And then we're going to again step the right foot to left foot. If you are not in a flat back, inhale, extend the back halfway up. And exhale, bending down, that full forward bend. Maybe just swing your upper body a bit from side to side. Release the neck. And then from here, we're going to bring hands down. We're going to walk the feet back almost into downward dog, but not quite. So we're going to lower the knees down, but hover the knees off the mat. So knees are almost touching the mat. We keep the back long, neutral. Arms, hands pressing down and just hovering the knees and breathing. Really going through the whole body and using your breath. Use those exhalations to keep yourself in that pose, keep that stability. Trying to take 5 more breaths here. And shaking is very, very fine. And then slowly bring your knees back down. You can release the toes and leave your left hand on the mat and slide your right arm under the left arm into thread the needle. If you want, you can extend that left arm overhead. Take a few breaths here, in and out. Let your breath calm down. And then slowly bring that left hand back closer to the shoulders. Inhale, reach the right arm up, twisting out to the right. Exhale, bring hands onto the mat. Same to the other side. So right hand stays down. Slide your left arm under the right arm. You lean your head down, your shoulder down. If you want, you can extend that right arm overhead. And breathing here. And then bring that right hand back under the shoulder. Inhale. Reach the left arm up. And exhale. Bring hands on the mat. From here, bring yourself into a seat. If you have a block, bring that block with you. And we're going to come lie down on the back. We're going to go into a bridge pose. And now if you have a block, you can bring that block between the legs, like you might have used it in that chair pose, to really kind of not force, but encourage the inner thighs to be more engaged. Find your feet on the mat. We'll start with arms next to the sides. Inhale. And as you exhale, press down through the feet to lift your pelvis, to lift your back off the mat. You can still adjust the feet. And with or without the block, really try to feel that connection from the arches of your feet to your inner thighs, to your pelvic floor, into your spine. You can keep arms on the mat, or extra challenge, bring arms overhead, so you're kind of almost lowering them down on the mat overhead, but not quite. So you're hovering, slightly off the mat. And breathing, not forgetting the inner thighs, not forgetting the feet, even if we have arms overhead. Remember, with each exhalation, you find that little extra of that deep internal engagement, that core support. It's not squeezing, it's more of a subtle drawing in. Take one more breath in and out. And then slowly you can release the pelvis down, bring arms back down next to your sides. And then we're going to do one more stronger movement. So now lift your legs into about 90-degree angle. So 90 degrees in the hips, in the knees, roughly. If you have a block, just keep that block between the legs. 5 more. Last work for the core. So now we're going to inhale, keeping knees in that 90-degree angle. Lower your heels or your toes towards the mat. Before they touch, exhale, bring them back up. Here, the hissing breath is really handy. So inhale, lowering down, keep your back neutral. So don't let your pelvis tilt. Exhale, so drawing the legs back in. 3 more times. Inhaling down. Keeping the belly drawn in. Exhale, back up. 2 more times. Don't let your back arch too much. Inhaling down. Just that natural arch. Exhale, back up. Last one. Inhaling down. And exhaling back up. And then you can put the block aside. If you had a block there, just hug the knees in and rock a bit from side to side. Take a couple of deeper breaths in and out. And then we're going to go into our twist. Now, if you have a block, just bring the block onto your right hand side. You can bring your feet down and then tilt or rock your whole pelvis to the right. Bring your left knee either onto a block or on the mat on your right hand side, and then with your left hand, see if you can reach for your right foot behind you. So cat pulling its tail, twist. So now my left hand is holding the right foot behind me. Right hand is supporting the left knee. If you don't want to use a block, you can also bring your left knee further down, but it might be quite nice to have something there under the knee. And then just breathe here. Try to soften your shoulders as much as possible. Head can turn to one side or the other. Take a couple more breaths in and out. Softening as much as it's possible to soften now. And then as you exhale, let go of your right foot. Come back to center, back onto your back. Swing the legs, swing the knees a bit from side to side. If you think you might want to use a block, as we do this on the second side, just bring the block to your left-hand side. And then again, walk the whole, or tilt the whole pelvis to the left. You bring your right knee either on top of the block, or it could be closer to the mat. And then bend the left knee, so if you could reach right hand to the left foot. So chest is open up towards the ceiling. Head can turn to one side or the other. And breathing here. And softening where you don't need that tension. Also softening your jaw. Check that you're not biting teeth together. Take a few more breaths in and out. And then slowly, slowly, with your next couple of breaths, let go of that left foot. Release the twist. And just bring yourself to center and then into Savasana pose. Finding your Savasana pose, whether it's on the back, on the belly, maybe it's on one side or the other. And you could give yourself a few slightly deeper, bigger belly breaths. Now let the belly soften and let your breaths move all the way down. And just give yourself a moment to rest. Soften your feet, soften your knees, soften your hips, soften your belly, soften your back. Soften your shoulders. Soften your arms, your hands. Soften your chest. Soften your neck. And soften your head. Just feeling your whole body heavy, melting onto the mat. You can stay in your resting pose as long as you want to, as long as you need to today. I'll bring myself up into a seat, but you can stay there. And at the end of this practice, remember to thank yourself for taking some time to look after yourself, to strengthen, to stabilize your body today. And I thank you very much for joining in. Namaste. Thank you.